The Hajj, a pillar of Islam, a journey of a lifetime. Every year, millions of Muslims from around the world converge on Mecca, Saudi Arabia, to perform this sacred pilgrimage. They circle the Kaaba, Islam's holiest site. They retrace the steps of Prophet Abraham and his family. They stand together in prayer, united in faith and devotion. This year, the air thrums with a palpable energy. The crowds are massive, a sea of humanity flowing through the holy city. The sun beats down relentlessly, turning the desert landscape into a furnace. For many, the heat is more than just uncomfortable. It is a serious health risk. The elderly and those with pre-existing conditions are particularly vulnerable. Dehydration, heat stroke, and exhaustion are constant threats. Medical tents overflow with patients seeking relief from the heat. The situation is a stark reminder of the physical demands of the Hajj and the importance of preparedness. This year's Hajj has been marred by tragedy. The extreme heat has claimed the lives of several pilgrims. The exact number remains unclear, but the stories are heartbreaking. Husbands separated from wives in the crush of people only to find them later, overcome by the heat. Elderly parents collapsing, their children helpless to save them. These deaths underscore a grim reality. The Hajj is becoming increasingly dangerous due to climate change. Each year, temperatures in the region soar higher, putting pilgrims at greater risk. The combination of intense sun, large crowds, and strenuous physical activity creates a perfect storm for heat-related illnesses. The rising temperatures are not just a concern for the present, they pose a significant threat to the future of the Hajj. If temperatures continue to rise, the pilgrimage could become impossible for many, particularly the elderly and those in poor health. This raises profound questions about accessibility and inclusivity in the years to come. Caroline High, the extreme heat this year has been unprecedented. Pilgrims are struggling to cope, and the medical facilities are stretched to their limits. It's a dire situation that calls for immediate action. A. Hussein. As an imam, I've seen firsthand the toll this heat takes on the faithful. It's heartbreaking to witness the suffering, and we must find ways to protect our community during this sacred journey. Fender's daughter. My mother was so excited to perform the Hajj. We never imagined that the heat would be so severe. She collapsed, and we couldn't save her. It's a pain that will stay with us forever. Managing the Hajj is a logistical challenge of unprecedented scale. The Saudi government invests heavily in infrastructure and manpower to accommodate the influx of pilgrims. Thousands of security personnel are deployed to manage crowds and ensure safety. Elaborate tent cities provide temporary housing. Water stations are strategically placed throughout the holy sites. The Saudis have implemented numerous measures to mitigate the risks posed by the heat. Misting fans have been installed to provide relief from the scorching sun. Medical facilities have been expanded and equipped to handle heat-related emergencies. Public awareness campaigns educate pilgrims on how to stay hydrated and recognize the signs of heat stroke. Despite these efforts, the sheer volume of people makes it impossible to eliminate all risks. The crowds are dense and movement is often slow and arduous. Medical services can be overwhelmed, and access to care is not always easy. The challenges are immense, highlighting the need for continued innovation and investment in safety measures. Caroline High. The scale of the Hajj is truly staggering. The Saudi authorities are doing their best, but the challenges are immense. We need to continue innovating and investing in safety measures to protect the pilgrims. While the Saudi government strives to accommodate the millions of registered pilgrims, there are countless others who undertake the Hajj without proper documentation. Driven by faith and a burning desire to fulfill this religious obligation, they arrive in Mecca, often after arduous journeys, only to find themselves on the periphery, excluded from the official infrastructure. These unregistered pilgrims face unimaginable hardships. Lacking access to designated housing, they are forced to seek shelter wherever they can, in mosques, on the streets, under bridges. They struggle to find clean water and food, often relying on the generosity of strangers. They are also more vulnerable to exploitation and abuse, their lack of legal status making them easy targets. Their plight is a stark reminder of the human cost of the Hajj. While the world witnesses the grandeur of the pilgrimage, the struggles of these forgotten pilgrims often go unseen. Their stories underscore the need for greater compassion and a more inclusive approach to managing the Hajj, ensuring that all who seek to fulfill this sacred duty are treated with dignity and respect. Caroline High. The situation for unregistered pilgrims is dire. They face incredible hardships and are often left to fend for themselves. We need to address this issue with greater compassion and inclusivity. Tour operator. Unfortunately, many unregistered pilgrims fall prey to unscrupulous operators. It's a sad reality, but we must work towards protecting these vulnerable individuals and ensuring their safety.